Hello Cancer friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my video, Cancer November 2020 Astrology Must Knows. Major must know this month is that the world is coming alive again. This whole retrograde madness that we've had with all the personal planets going retrograde and all kinds of other things that have been bringing us backwards and inwards start to shift this month. It is very pivotal over the course of the whole year. Mercury completes its last retrograde, goes direct. Brings a ton of confusion in the beginning of the month, but at least it's going to be done then. Okay, so if you're not clear and things have been highly emotional and you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing and there's a lot going on, then you should have more clarity over the month. And the reason is because as Mercury goes direct and starts to get back online, communication will be much more clear. You'll be able to have more insights into what's happening. Then Mars, the ruler of oomph, ambition, get up and go, action, activity, anything like that makes us move forward, comes alive. We've had a really long circuit of Mars being retrograde. And if you're including the pre-transit shadow period that started at the end of July, it's been, half of 2020 that this is really affecting us. So November 14th, this moves forward. So this is another cog in the wheel of rolling the wheel to get the cart moving again. And this, this is going to be very exciting. It's going to be a very quick change of pace, kind of like the difference between, I call it like island living. Well, I don't call it that. It's known as island living. Like if you get on the island, everyone is like, they don't have their watches. They're like relaxed. And then the mainlanders come and they're all in a hurry and everything, right? So we've had like a very extended experience of island time since we've been in quarantine, and now things have been starting to wake up. October now, even more, very much more in November. And we're going to very quickly spin into like New York City downtown madness over the course of the month. Like it's going to change very rapidly where things start to move very fast. And I want you to be prepared for that because, you've been probably getting used to things being this certain way. And if it changes really fast, it might throw you off. So just kind of be ready for it. Know that it's coming and know that many things that had stalled out for you, especially in your work sector, in your career sector, might start to really rage forward in a very, very fast manner. Okay, so that's the first must know. The second must know is that if you're going to make any big decisions and need like energy for a launch or to do something important, as the month progresses and into December and even the beginning of January, you'll have your window. We haven't had a window that has been great for launches or trying to move anything forward because everything has been, losing steam. If you've been trying to get people to work on your house, if you've been trying to do anything and it just seems stagnant, then you'll notice that these things are starting to wake up. So, and be in the perfect time, now you'll be able to do your launches and make your big decisions. But again, the clarity piece is really critical because something else that's happening in November, which is a must know, is that Neptune is going direct at the end of the month. This is on the 26th. So first Mercury, then Mars, then Neptune, all going direct. And that, again, like every planet that starts to shift in this way brings more clarity about not only what to do, why to do it, but when to do it. Okay, so that's what's developing. Now, a very, very, very important must know is that we are in eclipse season, hot and heavy. If you don't know about eclipses are major cycles that we have twice a year. The eclipse cycle is always ongoing, but it tends to fall more, the storylines tend to fall more into the backdrop. But now, at this time, they're right in the forefront. And so life-changing trajectory shifts, major goodbyes, major hellos, bright new beginnings are all part of the eclipse cycle. But again, it can be kind of sudden and it can also bring in new news. So if you're working with, picking between A and B over the course of November, and everything is just kind of split into this black and white, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Then, towards the end of the month, you start to see, with the help of the eclipses, more of option C, option D, option E. And so if you kind of start to like make your big decisions before all the rest of the options are revealed, then it could be a little bit difficult in trying to break out of the other realm and get into the next one. So just kind of feel your way through, because more and more news is going to come. And it's going to come, in the time frame where you're going to start to be able to do something about it. Okay, so expect a lot of notable energy in your relationship space. And this is due to the final storyline of Jupiter and Pluto connecting in Capricorn for the last time this year and for a long time in your house of relationships. Okay, so Jupiter and Pluto coming together is very, very notable in the course of our human history, because every time outer planets, the ones that are further from us, get to a degree in the sky, or in the running track through the sky, as I like to call it, where they're sitting on top of each other, they're amplifying each other's effects, and notable things happen in the world. When we had this happen prior to 2020, that was when the subprime, that was around 2008, those years around there, where the subprime lending market just fell out from under itself through a crazy cascade of issues, people losing their homes and the other financial sectors being rocked. And that was from one pass of Jupiter and Pluto. Now this year we had 3 passes, and these are very much at part of the root of what has gone on, which has triggered our experience of coronavirus, which has triggered the markets, and the systems being tested and a lot of breakdown and change into their next evolution. We've been teeter-tottering at this high degree, this end story of Capricorn, which is the old way of doing things, the traditional way, the brick and mortar, the, working in the same thing the same way for 30 years, developing storyline, like people who've had family businesses that have been doing these certain things this certain way. That's all Capricorn energy. And we have been slowly cracking out of it. It's being tested this year. And as of December, the factors that were involved with Jupiter and Saturn making these different connections with Pluto, which will still be in Cap, those are going to move into Aquarius, and everything is cracking open into something new. And that big crack is really happening now because of all of these pieces that I'm telling you about. Okay, they're just like this major prelude for this early December push into Aquarius. So anything that is not sustainable for the future has gone away or is going to go away, and it's going to take shape into something new. And that is on your relationship level also, okay? Because this is happening globally, and it's happening on every different level within us, our communities, the world, but also specifically for Cancers, it's happening in your relationship space. So as these planets have been coming together, oh, and by the way, this has happened 3 times, okay? So April 4th, June 30th, and now November 12th. So all the chaos that happened in the 2008-2009 timeframe, that was from the 1 pass of Jupiter and Pluto. We have 3 passes this year. If you haven't already watched my video about how the outer planets and the things that have been going on in the sky have been instigating our experience of the coronavirus and the markets breaking down and the systems breaking down, then definitely search for Botticelli coronavirus so that you can understand more. It's a very comprehensive video to understand what went on there. But this is just a snippet, okay? So April 4th, like that time frame, is when everything started to shut down from COVID. And then June 30th, we had other waves where certain things tried to open and certain, there were notable things that occurred. And now here, November 12th, we're at the end of that story. So it doesn't mean COVID now ends completely per se. It means that the next evolution of what this storyline is going to be evolves into the next chapter of it. And so, that's going to happen in the global level, and that's going to happen in your lives, and you will see some element of that occurring in your relationships as well. It could also be your relationship to relationship. Maybe there won't be changes to your relationship per se, or maybe there'll be improvements or advancements, or maybe things that aren't sustainable will crack up and leave, as you've been seeing happen over this last year. There's been this storyline for you because this has been going on for all this time. So many of you may have left old relationships because it got cracked out and established very deeply new ones. So you could move forward in those new relationships if they're sustainable, or crack out of something that has been pending. Okay, so let's talk about the eclipses. So the eclipses in Gemini are going to be pretty intense for Cancer placements, especially those of you who are in like the June to early July birthday time frame, because those of you in that time frame will have a closer exact hit to your Cancer placement, okay? And for those of you in that same time frame, you're very likely to feel it in your 12th house, which is the house of your psyche. Okay, so this can run the gamut of anything from like psychological breakdown to psychological breakthrough, or both. Or you could discover something that was hidden, some piece of information that really changes your life or your perspective. It very, very, very much favors spiritual and psychological seeking, because the types of breakthroughs that happen can be very profound, and they could happen without you looking for them. But the more you're using this energy for that, the more chance you have to like make something notable happen in your inner world, which relates to your outer world. So hypnosis, EFT, EMDR, NLP, you can look up all these acronyms. They're all amazing, and past life regression, things like that. Anything that gets you into your psyche, that's going to be really, really helpful. And it's always helpful for everyone at any time. But those of you who are in the June born, early July, you might feel the eclipse in that sector. So anything proactive you can do to shore up your mental space is going to be supportive. Now, all Cancer placements, even those of you who are in that late June and early July, will get that energy in the 11th house as well, because even if you're earlier and you're getting it in the 12th house, it's going to be on the line to the 11th house, okay? And what happens with the 11th house is radical changes to your friendships, your social circles, how you relate to people. It can be anything having to do with humanitarian efforts or community-based projects. This can be anything involving a particular friend or a friendship, or again, like how you are or your social groups. So, and patents and technology are also in there if you happen to be in that bucket there. So to understand more about how this can affect you, I've made an Eclipse series. Okay, so you can look up either Annie Botticelli, then go to my homepage and click on the playlists and see the whole Eclipse series, or you can do an organic search for Annie Botticelli Eclipses in Gemini, okay, because everyone's going to have that experience. Then you're going to have, the July or the June and early July. You look up eclipses in Pisces or 12th house. Then all Cancer placements, look up eclipses in Aquarius or 11th house, okay, for Annie Botticelli in those videos. And I will explain in those videos everything that I've ever can remember seeing as a manifestation from those eclipses in those spaces, which are going to be in your chart, in my 20 years of doing thousands of readings and horoscopes for a very long time. Okay, so it's a lot of information, and you can check all that out. Okay, so let's see what else. The energies that are moving through Scorpio are very nice for Cancer. And we had this happen in October, and now it's deepening even in November. The Sun, Mercury, and Venus are going to be moving through Scorpio this month, and Venus is going to continue moving through Scorpio even into the first half of December. So whenever we have planets moving through a water sign, a fellow water sign for you, those are kisses that you get from them, those planets making a nice aspect with your placement. So this can enliven, you figuring out more of what you're here to do, how you see yourself, your image. This can have anything to do with your creative expression, or doing your creative things for work, or having support for your creativity. Anything on the process of having children or child rearing, or anything that puts you out in front of people, like being known for your work or being seen. All of those things can receive extra special kisses for Cancer placements. And that's all of you. All of you are going to get that between, November and the middle of December, and you'll get double and triple doses, really, because there's 3 planets that between October and the middle of December, all of you will get kisses from all of those placements. So, and that can also come in the form of financial support for something you're trying to do, like if you need a loan. Which also reminds me that if you need to buy a car, buy a computer, buy a phone, buy a house, the chance of you getting money is increased at this time, okay? Especially as the month wears on, it's going to become really good for contracts, like, towards the end and into December and January. Like, all of that has really great new beginnings for solidifying your finances or getting capital support for something or paying off debt or dealing with taxes, or something even in having to do with inheritances and things like that. Financial and emotional support for anything that you're trying to do. So that's an extra special thing for Cancer placement. So in general, there is a lot of intensity this month, but we are starting to step out of some of the way we had the intensity and step into a new way of, whatever our new intensity is going to be. So you'll definitely feel that energy of literally cracking out of a shell and starting to walk away and leaving the shell and that experience, which was the matrix that you were living in, behind you. And I've been talking about this with Cancer placements for a while, because the Cancer Capricorn eclipse cycle that was between 2018 and 2020, you went through a lot of that, and now you're more, we'll say lithe in your step. It's, for many of you, this is becoming much easier for you to step into these new ways of being because of everything that happened over the 2 years of those eclipses. And so hopefully these transitions will be a little bit easier for you. Okay, so if you want to know the sweet dates, the salty dates, the aspects, all the aspects, how they might manifest, and the general information about what this month is about, all delivered into your inbox 1 month early, then sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. All the links that I'm giving you are also in the notes underneath the video if you click on the More button and see the links there. You also get Shine, my 28-day virtual coaching program, for free when you sign up for my free email newsletter. And if you would like to have free courses, including my course, Unleash Your Money Magnets, you can go to my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, at lumelife.com, L-U-M-E, life.com. You can also see my paid courses there, including my Become a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. If you'd like to be a professional astrologer or bring it to your current line of work, or just have it as a hobby for your own self-development, you will love my course. It is so comprehensive. It's layer upon layer upon layer. And as I'm adding to it, you're getting those additions at no additional charge. So as I'm expanding this course, you're going to be getting that. So it's really quite amazing. So you can see that at lumelife.com. If you want written horoscopes by me, as you see, most of my work is free, and I do give a ton of stuff to you every month, so make sure you're utilizing all of that. If you go to cozybysweetstarlight.com, you'll get my written horoscopes 1 month early, and those are always much more easy and shorter, just more streamlined than the details in the video, so it just gives you a good overview for the month and some good pointers and things to remember. And major announcement, my book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe, will finally be out in the first week of December. If you haven't already pre-ordered it, you may want to do that now, because Amazon has this crazy discounted pre-sale price. Me and the publisher did not do that. They're doing that. So that's not going to be that way once it's officially available. So you can probably get it at a better price if you get it sooner. And I do suggest you get the audio version and that you get the written version, because the written version is a beautiful hardcover reference book that you'll refer back to over and over again, and you can just go right to the spot you want. But if you get the audio book, then you can listen to it in its entirety. If you don't have time to read a 350-page book, then you can listen to it in its entirety, on Audible. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.